Alejandro Caceres. You might know him as P4X. This isn't your average hacker story. This is about revenge. Caceres was targeted by North Korean spies. They wanted his skills, his knowledge, but Caceres, he wasn't about to be anyone's pawn. The FBI, they offered little help. So Caceres decided to take matters into his own hands. He knew their systems, their weaknesses, he'd studied them, anticipated their moves, and when the time was right, he struck. His target, the entire nation of North Korea. Imagine their surprise when their internet went dark. Alejandro wasn't just retaliating, he was sending a message. The world watched in awe as a lone hacker took on a nation. He spent countless hours meticulously planning every detail. His expertise in cybersecurity was unparalleled. To the outside world, he was just another tech enthusiast. But behind the scenes, he was a force to be reckoned with. Even those closest to him had no idea of his double life. His determination was unwavering. He had always been a prodigy, a genius in the world of technology. From a young age, he was fascinated by the digital world. He believed in using his skills for good, to inspire the next generation. But this time, he had to take a stand. The impact of his actions was felt across the globe, and as he walked away, he knew he had made a difference. This is the story of Alejandro Caceres, the hacker who fought back. For days, North Korea was cut off. No communication, no information. Caceres had brought a nation to its knees with nothing more than a keyboard and his wits. The world watched in disbelief. A single hacker had accomplished what governments couldn't. Caceres had become a legend, a symbol of resistance against cyber tyranny. But his fight was far from over. Caceres didn't stay silent. He used his newfound platform to expose vulnerabilities, to call out governments for their inaction. He urged for stronger cybersecurity measures, a more aggressive stance against cyber threats. The US government took notice, but not in the way you might think. Instead of prosecution, they offered him a job. Caceres saw an opportunity. He could work from the inside, push for real change. But he quickly realized the system was more interested in maintaining the status quo. Bureaucracy, it seemed, was a firewall even he couldn't crack. Evan James Coker, a name that sends chills down the spines of government auctioneers. Coker found a way to game the system, to turn the US government into his personal shopping spree. Cars, trucks, jewelry, all practically free. How? By exploiting a loophole in the pay.gov website. He manipulated the final payment, making thousands disappear with a few keystrokes. The audacity. But Coker's luck, like all good things, eventually ran out. He was caught, indicted, charged with wire fraud. His story, a cautionary tale. A reminder that even the most secure systems have their weaknesses. But who exactly is Evan James Coker? Born and raised in a small town, Coker was always fascinated by computers. From a young age, he showed an uncanny ability to understand complex systems. By the time he was a teenager, he was already hacking into local networks, not for malicious intent, but out of sheer curiosity. His talents didn't go unnoticed. He was offered scholarships and job opportunities, but Coker had other plans. He saw the flaws in the systems that others deemed secure. The pay.gov website, a portal used by millions to make payments to the government, had a vulnerability. Coker discovered that by altering the payment data at a specific point in the transaction process, he could reduce the amount owed to mere pennies. It was a flaw so obscure that it had gone unnoticed for years. Coker's first successful exploit was a revelation. He managed to purchase a luxury car for just $1. Emboldened by his success, he continued, acquiring more items, trucks, jewelry, even real estate. Each transaction was a testament to his skill and the system's vulnerability. But with each success he grew bolder, and his activities began to draw attention. Government auctioneers were baffled. How could such valuable items be sold for so little? Investigations were launched, and it wasn't long before digital breadcrumbs led back to Coker. His downfall was as swift as his rise. Arrested in a coordinated operation, he faced a litany of charges. In court, his demeanor was one of resignation. He knew the game was up. Today, Coker's story serves as a stark reminder. No system is infallible. As technology advances, so do the methods of those who seek to exploit it. Cybersecurity experts now use Coker's case as a study, ensuring that such vulnerabilities are identified and rectified. The digital age offers immense opportunities, but it also comes with significant risks. And as Coker's tale illustrates, even the most secure systems can be brought to their knees by a determined individual. Section 5. When hacking hits home. Now let's talk about Ring cameras, those little devices promising security, peace of mind. But what happens when that security is compromised? When the eyes watching over your home are hijacked by malicious actors? Ask Ashley LeMay and Dylan Blakely. They thought they were protecting their 8-year-old daughter, Alyssa. Instead, they invited a nightmare into their home. A hacker took control of their Ring camera. They played music, spoke directly to Alyssa, hurled racial slurs. Imagine the terror, the violation. Section 6. The shadow of surveillance. This wasn't an isolated incident. Homes across the country from Connecticut to Florida were targeted. The vulnerable exploited. It begged the question, how secure are these devices we invite into our lives? Ring, owned by Amazon, scrambled to respond. Strong passwords, they urged, don't recycle old ones, but the damage was done. Trust, once broken, is not easily repaired. The LeMay family, forever scarred. Alyssa, afraid to sleep in her own room. The price of security, it seemed, was higher than they ever imagined. Section 7. The price of security. We live in a world obsessed with security. Cameras on every corner, passwords for everything, but at what cost? Are we sacrificing our privacy on the altar of safety? And who exactly are we protecting ourselves from? These are the questions we need to ask. The questions that keep people like Alejandro Caceres up at night. Because in the digital age, the line between security and privacy is becoming increasingly blurred. Section 8. A world without walls. The internet, a marvel of human ingenuity. A tool for connection, information, cat videos. But like any tool, it can be used for good or evil. And in the wrong hands, it can be a weapon. A weapon that knows no borders, no physical limitations. This is the reality we face. A world without walls, where cyber attacks can cripple economies, disrupt elections, and sow chaos on a global scale. The question isn't if it will happen again, but when. Section 9. Striking a balance. In today's interconnected world, the challenge of balancing security and privacy has never been more critical. As we navigate this digital age, we must ask ourselves some fundamental questions. So where do we go from here? How do we find the right path forward in this complex and ever-evolving landscape? How do we navigate this new landscape, balancing the need for security with the right to privacy? It's a delicate dance requiring careful consideration and thoughtful action. It's a complex issue with no easy answers. The threats we face are real and constantly changing, from cyber attacks to data breaches. Yet, our right to privacy is fundamental and must be protected. But one thing is clear. We need to start by having an honest conversation. A conversation that includes all stakeholders, from government officials to tech companies, and most importantly, the public. A conversation about the trade-offs we're willing to make, the sacrifices we might need to endure, and the benefits we hope to gain. It's about understanding the implications of our choices, the risks we're willing to take. Every decision comes with its own set of risks and rewards, and we must weigh them carefully. We need to demand transparency from our governments, transparency in how our data is collected, used, and protected. Without it, trust erodes, and the system fails. And accountability from the tech giants who collect our data. These companies hold immense power and responsibility. They must be held to the highest standards of ethics and integrity. We need to educate ourselves about the threats we face. Knowledge is power, and understanding the risks is the first step in mitigating them, and the steps we can take to protect ourselves. From using strong passwords to enabling two-factor authentication, there are practical measures we can all adopt to enhance our security. Education must start early, teaching children about online safety and responsible digital behavior. Schools, communities, and families all play a crucial role in this effort. Public forums and expert talks can help raise awareness and foster a culture of vigilance and responsibility. We must stay informed and engaged. Collaboration is key. By working together, sharing knowledge, and supporting one another, we can build a safer and more secure digital world. Ultimately, striking a balance between security and privacy is about making informed decisions and standing united in our commitment to protect both. It's a journey that requires vigilance, cooperation, and a shared vision for a better future. Section 10. The future of cyber warfare. The future of warfare isn't fought on battlefields, it's fought in cyberspace, where lines of code are weapons and hackers are the new soldiers. Governments are investing billions in cyber weapons, developing tools capable of crippling infrastructure and disrupting entire societies. It's a terrifying thought, but it's the reality we live in. and it's a reality we need to be prepared for. Section 11, the Vigilantes Among Us. Alejandro Caceres is a symbol of a growing movement. A movement of individuals who are unwilling to stand by while governments and corporations fail to act. They are the vigilantes of the digital age, fighting for justice in the shadows. They are hackers, activists, and whistleblowers, and they are a force to be reckoned with. The fight for our digital future has begun. The question is, which side are you on?